Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 101. I hope everyone is having a good morning and is staying relatively warm. Um, Sorry we didn't have any stream yesterday, but I had both kids home because the schools were closed because ice pellets were falling from the sky. um, so there was literally ice everywhere. And I think Pincolo said something like an inch and a half to 2 inches of ice had fallen just by the morning, like just by 9 o'clock in the morning. Um, and then it continued to ice pellet pretty much all morning. And then it switched to wonderful rain. It warmed up enough to rain and then it dipped again. So when I walked Alex to school this morning, everything was ice. Thankfully, his school is just across the street. So, yeah, that was fun. So, I apologize in advance for my stuffy voice. I am getting a cold, but we will power through. Um, I have what's it called? Taken some Dayquil. So hopefully we won't have more stream lore today in the form of proximity badgers. Ah ha ha, Ryan, you read my mind. Proximity badger alert, run for the hills. Hi, Sora. Hi, Chadwick. Mother Nature wants to take us all out. Yeah. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Hawk Silk. Hi, Rolling Bear. Hi, Rambler. Hi, Gun Fox. Oh, sickness is disgusting. Yeah. Lots of puffs. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll be doing that. Let's see. I saw Costin earlier. Yeah, I saw Costin. Hi, Costin. So I hope everyone's doing well today. RIP your voice because the rage meter will be broken today. Yeah, I found a couple that are just like, what the fuck? I saw the aborted babies parts article, and I'm just like, no, I can't do that. Hey, Duck Dog, you're lurking. Greetings, people who arrived since I last said hi. Hey, it's RVA. Not much, just me saying good morning to chat and explaining why there was no stream yesterday. And explaining that I am coming down with a cold. Hi, Gulf City Ben. How are you? Hi, Seamus Darby. Lots of people showing up today. That one would just break you. It's very nasty. Yeah, I had a feeling that it was very nasty, and I just was like, no, I can't. But I found a couple of other ones that will make me very upset. So that'll make it better. Yes, and rest in peace to Gunfox's Twitter, as they have laid the ban hammer down on him. I prefer winter, to be honest. I hate ice, but you can warm up easier than you can cool down. See, I would rather try and cool down. Yeah, PETA is pissed at me. It's easy to piss off PETA. So I've got a few stories here. I only had time to collect 5, but I can get to my Discord pretty easily and get more stories if necessary. And there are plenty to cover us for the 2 hours. And Pincolo has also sent me a couple, so we should be fine. We should be good. Press F for respect. Yes, let's press F for Gunfox's Twitter. Okay. Now, let's get into the Twitter DMs where I have my stories. While I'm doing that, please like and share the stream, and consider visiting the Streamlabs link in the description, and throwing a few bucks my way if you are of the mind. It's always appreciated. Okay. Oh, fuck off, Twitter. Stop logging me out, god damn it. I hate that it does this every fucking day. It's all but permabanned, yeah. The mailman came early just to deliver junk mail. I'm expecting my credit card. Oh, that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. All right. Let's go see what Pincalo sent us first. Here's one from Bloomberg that he sent 3 hours ago. Oh yeah, I sent myself this one. Venezuela-Colombia bridge blocked to keep out humanitarian aid. By David Papadopoulos. I love saying that. Papadopoulos. All right. Here we go.
Nicolas Maduro's authoritarian regime. Venezuelan authorities barricade bridge. President Nicolas Maduro's authoritarian regime seems to be serious about its threat to block humanitarian aid from entering Venezuela.
Yes, because they are a dictatorship now.
Full screen. Play video. End of A heading level. End of A gas tank and shipping containers obstruct passage to Venezuela from Colombia on February 6. Photographer.
So there's a picture of a gas tank and
a gas tank and
a shipping container blocking the way.
More. Link. Share. Tweet.
Sorry, guys.
Email. February 6. Business Week. Link.
Business Week.
February 6. Technology. Link.
Where's the fucking story?
$5 billion to $17 billion over. Link.
Hold on. Seriously? Wow, Bloomberg, your site is crap. Yeah, I can't read this fucking story. Thanks, Bloomberg. You are awesome. I say that with all sarcasm. Oh, here's another one. Here's one from the Daily Caller that he sent. Let's see if I can read that one. Daily Caller, editor-in-chief, locked out of account for tweeting "Learn to Code." That's amusing. All right, here we go. It looks like I can read this one.
The Daily Caller editor-in-chief Jeffrey Ingersoll was locked out of his Twitter account Tuesday night after tweeting "Learn to Code" at The Daily Show.
So The Daily Show got all salty and reported the fucking editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller. Wow. Hi, Goatman. Hawk Silk says a lot of news sites are crap, to be honest. Especially if you use an ad blocker. I don't. Hi, Robert Brick. Let's see. If I delete all 10 tweets, it's a 30-day ban. Everyone, I'm driving, so I'm not going to read chat, just saying hi. And Blind Press, they use shipping containers to block the bridge lanes. Well, how very nice of them. All right.
The Daily Show's Twitter account made a video game-related joke about President Donald Trump's State of the Union address, ripping that the president unlocked the asymmetrical background achievement by getting Vice President Mike Pence to stand but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to remain seated.
That sounds like a terrible joke.
Post, D28 Learn to Code, Ingersoll replied. The caller editor received notification from link, Twitter, shortly thereafter indicating that he would have to delete the tweet or remain locked out of his account. Ingersoll's tweet allegedly violated the Twitter rules, according to a review, but Twitter did not say which specific rule or rules had been violated.
Because it violates no fucking rule at all. All it said was learn to code. That doesn't make, that's not a threat. That's not a incitement of violence. The Daily Show used to be cool years ago when Jon Stewart was on and they weren't all retarded. Yeah, Chadwick, I completely agree with you. Jon Stewart was amazing. Even he has gone weird. It's sad.
Link. Related to undefined. Twitter locks Jeffrey Ingersoll screenshot / the DC. According to an link. Official tag. Link. E.
An official page
detailing Twitter's enforcement options. Twitter will force users to delete tweets when they encounter an otherwise healthy account that made a mistake and violated our rules.
An otherwise healthy account that made a mistake. A healthy account. That is just weird wording. Just weird.
The page continues. When we determine that a tweet violated the Twitter rules, we require the violator to remove it before they can tweet again. We send an email notification to the violator identifying the tweet in violation and which policies have been violated. They will then need to go through the process of removing the violating tweet or appealing our review if they believe we made an error.
That's... What the fuck, says Jesse. Yeah. Hi, Captain Brambles.
Rather than delete the tweet, Ingersoll opted to issue an appeal shortly after midnight. Approximately 2 hours after an inquiry from the caller on Wednesday morning, Twitter sent an email to Ingersoll apologizing and indicating that they had made an error by removing access to his account.
So the caller emailed them and went, hey, the fuck? That's amusing. That's really amusing.
Undefined image. Jeffrey Ingersoll account restored. The Learn to Code meme gained popularity after BuzzFeed and the Huffington Post announced they would be laying off a significant number of reporters and other media staffers. The three-word phrase became a way to remind left-leaning journalists how many of them had responded to coal miners losing their jobs several years prior. You are currently watch frame at link. Conservatives started Learn to Code in larger numbers. Twitter cracked down on the phrase. According to the Wrap's John Levine, a Twitter representative said the tech platform would treat such tweets as abusive behavior.
Oh, fuck off. Seriously? Learn to Code is abuse now? That's insane. Learn to Code. Abuse, my feelings. Oh my god. Please, Twitter, help.
Post. D2A after backlash. Twitter scene 2. Link. Backtrack. Clarifying that it's more nuanced than what you reported. Twitter is responding to a targeted harassment campaign against specific individuals, a policy that's long against the Twitter rules. Twitter said in a statement.
So why don't you respond to the harassment of other ideological people that are different from your own? The reason the propagandists don't like being compared to the coal miners is Obama shut the coal mines down. Yep. I've never used Twitter or Facebook, says Goatman. Good for you. I'm sorry if my texts don't make sense. I'm tired of correcting autocorrecting. Google hasn't learned my new voice yet. It's all good, Chadwick. It seems to be doing fine. Must be free of wrong thing or bye-bye Twitter account, says Vortex. Yep. It's okay to use Learn to Code when all those miners lost their jobs. Yep. Don't start, Goatman. Oh, man.
Post. Ingersoll's tweet was not directed at a laid-off journalist and was deemed by Twitter to not be a part of a targeted harassment campaign.
Even if it was directed at a laid-off journalist, it's still not a targeted harassment. You're telling somebody to learn to code. That's not harassment. I'm sorry. Just fucking deal with it. Telling somebody to learn to code or to get a job is not fucking harassment. It's not. I'm sorry. It may be rude. It may be mean, but it's not harassment.
Link. Follow Amber on Twitter.
Oh, I think that's the end of the story because they've got her Twitter and her all this stuff about the author here. So that's the end of that story. So here's there's a couple of related stories here. But there's one. Where's the other one here? Do we want to read about Bruce MacArthur? I don't know. Let's see. Where is the first article? Okay. Well, here's a story about, quote, toxic masculinity in hockey. The first story is not anywhere in the DMs, Big Hollow. What if we changed learn to code to learn to coal? That's funny. Yeah, Pig Hollow, the first hockey story that you told me about, it doesn't appear to be in the DMs, but the toxic masculinity story is. So, we'll read that. Toxic masculinity in hockey means players resort to fights and intimidation. Oh, and it's written by a chick. I'm surprised. All right, here we go.
Halifax. A Canadian researcher sees the recent link. Hockey brawl between two Nova Scotia University teams as an opportunity to question toxic masculinity in the ring and what it means to stand up for someone without resorting to violence.
Yeah, the other article Piccolo wanted me to read was about there was a huge hockey fight, and it was in the paper, but it's not in my DMs. But yeah, apparently hockey players fight because toxic masculinity. Yeah.
Tim Skews, an assistant professor in the Faculty of Education at Brandon University in Manitoba, has been link researching how hockey influences an elite athlete's idea of what it is to be a man.
Because there are only male hockey players. There are no female hockey players anywhere ever. You fucking ridiculous researcher. I love me some toxic masculinity in the morning. It goes with my patriarchy flakes. I'll do the Bruce MacArthur article after this one. I.e. something that doesn't exist. Yeah. The first story is the one about the Bruce MacArthur story. Yeah, I'll read the Bruce MacArthur story as soon as I've done this story. Sorry, guys.
Composite of hockey brawl taken from screenshots of a composite of one of the most striking things he found was that longtime hockey players had never been asked, or even thought, about how the violence and combative nature of the sport affected their behavior as men. You are currently on a tech one.
What?
One of the most striking things he found was that longtime hockey players had never been asked, or even thought, about how the violence and combative nature of the sport affected their behavior as men.
Okay, but you're only asking male hockey players. You've skewed your research from the get-go. You have started your research with a pre-drawn conclusion. That is not how you do research. That is totally not how you do research. But fighting is part of hockey, says Jesse. Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, Lord, there's a stream sale. Don't buy everything. Oh, shit.
One former NHL player told Skews he was uncomfortable playing the enforcer role and being provoked to fight, but assumed it was his own problem. He wasn't the man they needed him to be, and he never questioned these toxic masculinity traits.
Okay, fuck off. That's not a toxic masculinity thing. That's oh my god. So you don't have the personality of an enforcer, and instead of, holy shit. Oh, Steam. So when was the last time a hockey player beat their wife or girlfriend? Honestly, the last time I could think of one was Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy, I think he cheated on his wife, and I think he was, I can't remember, so please don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he had a domestic violence thing. But he was a hockey player from like the 90s. Now, yeah, no, like I can't remember the last time a hockey player has been in the news for domestic violence. Leave hockey be. Fights are all a part of hockey. I agree, Rolling Bear. When I played, even the spectators got in on it. Yeah. Yeah. You can't have a good hockey game without a scuffle. That's just how it is.
That's what I find staggering. The Brandon University researcher said, comments, I internalized the weakness. Rather than saying no, what we're asking men to do is reprehensible. You are.
Okay, when you're on a team and your coach says, okay, you're going to go be the enforcer and whatever, you don't look at your coach and go, no. Like, fuck's sakes. Everyone share the stream. Let's spread the toxic masculinity, says Pink Hollow. Love it. My sister-in-law plays hockey, says Chadwick. She gets in more fights than anyone in her league, and she gets kicked out of games before the games start. Yeah, women hockey players are fucking insane. Patrick Roy was a goalie. Yes, he was, and he was a fucking fantastic goalie. Go Habs, go. Fuck everyone. Fuck what y'all say. Go Habs, go. He was an incredible goalie. The Patrick Roy save off the shoulder. I may be blind, but I know that fucking save. My uncle, I grew up watching Montreal Canadiens hockey with my uncle, and we used to cheer for Patrick Roy. And Patrick Roy was he was such a good goalie. We loved him. I actually got to go to the ceremony. Yes, all you need, yes. Wait, blind has toxic masculinity? I guess so. Most of those football players are on drugs or steroids. You don't hear much about hockey players being on drugs. No, you really don't. Learn to hockey. Screw the Habs. This is Leaf country. Boo, Leafs. I beat my wife because I am a Tabernac Roy. Oh, Pink Hollow. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I got to go to the Montreal Canadiens last Stanley Cup ceremony back in '94. That was really fun. So, to the Leafs fans, I say at least I was alive when my team won their last Stanley Cup, and also my team has won more Stanley Cups since the Leafs have won their last Stanley Cup than the Leafs have actually ever won in their entire history. So go Canucks. You're allowed for Canucks. I swear all sports have fighting in them. Yeah. Poppin' hot. Most hockey players are on the Molson diet, eh? Avalanche. Rolling Bear. I have seen the Leafs win the cup. Ah, back in '67.
Article continued below.
Article continued below, huh?
Skewes notes firsthand the impact of locker room misogyny, trash talk, and on-ice violence. It was his own experience with the game, including playing for St. FX in the 1980s, that led to his research, which includes interviews with former NHL and CHL players.
Locker room misogyny. How can you have locker room misogyny if what are the women doing in the locker room for there to be misogyny? You can't. How are you being misogynist if there are no women around? Even the most American teams hire Canadian players. Yep.
I think there are lots of mixed structures that allow for men to say, fighting is the appropriate manifestation of me being ridiculed, or I feel I need to stand up for myself. Skew said in an interview, I think it's still there in hockey and in other aspects of our lives.
Okay, I'm sorry, but human beings are fighters. When most human beings, male or female, are angry enough, they will get physical. It doesn't matter whether they're playing hockey or, like, human beings have there's a reason we have to, when we're in an argument, sometimes just walk away. Because humans are inherently prone to violence. And there's a reason that most of us at one point in our lives or another have had to just walk the fuck away because we're either going to say something horrible or we're just going to lose it and just like hit a wall, or like we don't want to just, you just have to just fucking like. And sometimes in hockey, in football, I guess this woman wants to play the skin flute for the hockey players. And if they're not Canadian, they're Russian. Yep. It's misogyny because men. Yep. My team is the New York Rangers. The New York Islanders do not represent my state. Ha. Grr, NHL. You're doing it wrong. You're using logic here. Oh, yes. That is it's toxic mammalian behavior. They want you to behave like plankton.
The fight broke out during the third period of a hockey game between the St. Francis Xavier X-Men and their longtime rivals, the Acadia University Axemen, on Saturday night in Wolfville, NS. By the time the ice was cleared, both head coaches and 13 players were ejected, and more 300 penalty minutes were assessed. After a 20-minute delay, Acadia eventually won the game 6-3.
Okay. So it was dealt with. It was punished. What's the big fucking deal?
The brawl prompted an Atlantic University sport investigation, which is expected to lead to league suspensions. In the meantime, dueling statements released by both schools on Monday only added to the confusion. In an effort to provide context and clarity, St. FX center Sam Studnicka said in his 3-year AUS career, he has been dealing with insulting and derogatory comments on the ice pertaining to the shaming of a sexual assault survivor. You are currently on...
What?
In the meantime, dueling statements released by both schools on Monday only added to the confusion. In an effort to provide context and clarity, St. FX center Sam Studnicka said in his 3-year AUS career, he has been dealing with insulting and derogatory comments on the ice pertaining to the shaming of a sexual assault survivor.
Okay.
It has taken an emotional toll on me, the statement continued, and it has been frustrating that one AUS hockey program in particular has elicited repeated on-ice comments directed toward me.
How do they know you're a sexual assault survivor? Where did this even come from? What the fuck? My kids used to play outside at school till -20, and the basketball court was a hockey rink 5 months out of the year. Yep. They did say X-Men for one team, and then they said Axemen for the other. So it said the St. Francis Xavier X-Men versus the University of Arcadia Axemen. So you did hear that right. Don't worry. The robot is always correct. It must be X-Men. Yeah. All right. Have a good day at work, Sora.
Studnicka said yet another comment, which he reported to his coach, who took it to on ice officials and the Axemen head coach, was the trigger. I was completely shocked when, minutes later, I was on the ice and the offending athlete, who made the comment, was said to take the facade off against me. There is no place for such comments within our society. Sexual assault is a very serious issue and there is simply no place for shaming sexual assault survivors, ever.
No, there's not. So you're mad that somebody said something horrible to you and he got to take the face off against you? I'm sorry, but where? Like, if I were playing, say I was playing blind hockey, and for some reason, somehow it was a competitive, well, there is competitive blind hockey, but anyway, let's just say I was playing competitive blind hockey, and somehow, for some reason, I have no idea why this would be a thing, but for some reason, it came out that to my team that I'm a survivor of that sort of thing, which I am, but that's besides the point. And somebody starts making like stupid, nasty comments about that to me on ice. Am I going to get mad that they still get to take the face off because they're of words that they're spewing at me? No. It's words. It's mind fucking. Yes, there is blind hockey. Blind hockey sounds like blind jousting. um, but I mean, okay, so what you do when people are trying to mind fuck you is you go, okay, they're trying to mind fuck me. I'm going to ignore them because that will piss them off even more. And you know what will piss them off even more is if I continue to play my best game and fucking win. And if I happen to body check them and get away with it, cool, even better. It is blind hockey. They can't really tell the puck is there. They just say there's a puck. Fuck you, there's a beeping puck, you ass. How does blind hockey work? Seriously. Okay, so they have a puck that makes noise, and basically you you get on the ice and you play a game of hockey and you use a puck that makes noise, and I believe they do have some sighted help, like just to keep things all right, but for competitive blind hockey it's pretty fast moving. Like it's a lot faster moving than you would think. uh, and a lot of the hockey players um, uh, are people, like there are totally blind hockey players that have been blind from birth, but a lot of them are people who have lost their sight like as teenagers. The founder of the Canadian hockey team, blind hockey team, Mark DeMontis, was a kid who could see, but he lost his sight as a teenager, and he was a hockey player when he could see, and he just didn't want to stop playing hockey, and he figured out how to play hockey and started up the first like federal national yeah, the puck does make a sound, Vortex. um yeah, there's a blind hockey YouTube channel. I'm so checking that out after the stream, says Chadwick. Do it, dude. I feel like you'd body check more in blind hockey, but not intentionally. Wow, honey, you should be driving right now. I can't see 10, I can only see 10 feet in front of me. It's foggy. This is fun. Please be careful. Yeah, please be fucking careful, honey. I don't, yeah. That would be why there is no orientation lesson for me today, because my orientation and mobility instructor lives out in the closer to like out in the country, and it's still really bad out there. The schools are canceled in that county today as well. The buses are canceled, so she texted me and was like, "I'm staying home." Stuff like that's fine. Um, so yeah, I have a big problem with this researcher because he's only looking at male hockey players, and
Article continued below.
I haven't
He
seen
said he was proud of the
anything.
way his teammates stood up for him and for something bigger than hockey. Meanwhile, Acadia said the information they've gathered on the incident is not consistent with those allegations. The alleged comments to Studnicka about a sexual assault victim are heinous. Skews agreed, but said there are other ways to deal with them. He often sees athletes make the argument that, when a grudge or feud or verbal abuse goes too far, it must be addressed physically. A player could take their concerns to a governing body or coach, Skew suggested, and how might that then create a different discourse around what's acceptable and what isn't? A screenshot of the dramatic fight between the Acadia University Axemen and the St. Francis University X-Men during a hockey game on February 2nd, 2019. Image. You are currently a screenshot of the. It's unclear from the St. FX statements whether Studnicka told his coach, the AUS, or anyone in a position of authority in the league about the 3 years of abusive comments he refers to in his statement. In his research, Skew said shame can keep a player from speaking out about bullying or aggressive behavior, since they feel they should take care of it themselves, because that's what men do. You are currently on a.
That's what adults do. That's what women do. That's what adults fucking do. Fuck. Roads are gorgeous. It's just foggy as fuck. That's all, says Piccolo. Okay. Piccolo, be safe. I need you to help handle your cheeky and cute boy. Yeah, they're both cheeky and cute.
A theme Skews heard repeatedly from former elite players was that having someone's back is not just standing there, but joining the fight.
Uh-huh.
When push comes to shove, if you will, that's kind of the ultimate stand that they're going to make for another man, Skew said.
Okay, this is fucking sexist as fuck. Why are you not looking at women hockey players? I guess they want men to get women to help us with everything. Yeah. This guy sounds like an SJW. Yep. Zed can believe that we're useless. Yep.
On Tuesday, AUS Executive Director Phil Curry said he was aware of St. FX's allegations about the on-ice comments. Both the nature of these allegations, as well as the dangerous events that ensued during Saturday's game, are distressing and are being taken very seriously, he said in a statement.
As they should be. If you're going to have a huge brawl that affects 13 players, fucking yeah, punish them for that. But don't sit there and say it's toxic masculinity. And what kind of researcher are you, not even looking at the other half of the population that plays hockey?
Curry said they intend to release a list of automatic suspensions for fighting on Wednesday morning, but the AUS will continue to review the incident and the repercussions will reflect the serious nature of the actions of those involved. St. FX coach Brad Peddle said Monday he understands fighting is not part of our game, but that he backed the actions of my student athletes and how they chose to stand up for their teammate on an issue that is more important than winning a hockey game. You are currently on a text element.
Well, Piccolo says, you know, I've been wondering if Freud would either have a stroke or be a billionaire today with the amount of these people want to fuck their mothers. Yep. All right, have fun priming your house, dude. Finding out women do the same would destroy the narrative, BP. That's why, says Hawk Silk. Yep. This is a game where goal is to get a little black thing into the net. Let's get a sociology department to analyze it. Yeah. And I have now entered into Indian country. Say hi to Tonka. No, fuck this article. I can't deal with this retardation. Fucking ridiculous. All right, let's read that Bruce MacArthur article. What? All right, hold on, guys. All right. This is called We'll Never Know Why Bruce MacArthur Murdered 8 Men. Well, because he was insane. That's why. Is Donga an Indian? All right. This is from Tuesday. All right. This is I think this is a poem.
If only monsters looked the part, with cloven feet and slitty eyes. Then maybe little girls wouldn't walk off with strangers, lured by the promise of puppies, and grown males might see the evil intent in a man's heart. In its artist's sketch, from left, Justice John McMahon, Crown Attorney Craig Harper, glasses, defense lawyer James Nicklin, and Bruce MacArthur attend MacArthur's sentencing hearing in Toronto on February 5th, 2019. Image. In this artist's, because Bruce MacArthur doesn't look like wickedness incarnate. He appears a cipher, a blank slate, unknowable beyond the gruesome artifacts of his crimes. 8 men murdered, dismembered, interred in giant planters and garbage bins, corpses staged like mannequins, for the camera, before disposal. You are currently on, and nowhere in the detailed agreed statement of facts presented in court this week is there even a hint of the why of it. You are currently on a text.
Because he's fucked up. That's why. He's fucked up. He's a very fucked up individual. And he needs to go to jail for the rest of his life.
Article continued below. He was caught. Crown Prosecutor Craig Harper reminded court. He did not stop. You are read more. Link. Link. MacArthur pleaded guilty to 8 counts of first-degree murder a week ago, sparing the victims' families and friends a long trial. But there was really no mercy or compassion in that act. Evidence against the 67-year-old landscaper was overwhelming. The police investigation, however belatedly, comprehensive. A father, a grandfather, a one-time mall Santa, MacArthur has scarcely spoken during the court proceeding, conveyed no emotion, shuffling obediently in and out of the dock. His pallor is gray, jowls sinking into his neck.
Wait, I need to go back a sentence.
MacArthur pleaded guilty to 8 counts of first-degree murder a week ago, sparing the victims' families and friends a long trial. But there was really no mercy or compassion in that act. Evidence against the 67-year-old landscaper was overwhelming. The police investigation, however belatedly, comprehensive.
Are you really gonna go after the police investigation right now? They did what they could with this investigation. You want to go after the cops and the province for a bad investigation of a serial killer? Wettlaufer is the one that you want to be fucking on them about.
A father, a grandfather, a one-time mall Santa. MacArthur has scarcely spoken during the court proceeding, conveyed no emotion, shuffling obediently in and out of the dock. His pallor is gray, jowl sinking into his neck. Article continued that not that repentance would alleviate anybody's grief or mitigate the outcome. All that remains, with an automatic life sentence, is for McMahon to decide on eligibility for parole far down the line, after 50 years, as the prosecution has urged, 2 consecutive sentences, or 25 years, the minimum in first-degree murder before a felon can apply for parole, as MacArthur's defense lawyer is seeking.
Really? The defense lawyer is seeking parole after 25 years, even though he pleaded guilty to eight murders? That's a ballsy defense lawyer. Hi, blind girl. Interesting about the MacArthur line is that this has brought back the conversation of whether we should have the death penalty in Canada again. Let's see.
MacArthur would be 91 if sprung on parole at the quarter-century mark, 116 a half-century from now, which is more symbolic than realistic, but lawyers can argue on the head of a pin. Either way, it's likely he'll die behind bars. You are currently on a text.
As he should. He should die behind bars.
But has he achieved his heart's desire, his compulsion? This serial killer who stalked the Gay Village neighborhood, targeting a longtime friend, an ex-lover, Link. Homeless man. With mental illness, Link. Refugee who fled civil war. In Sri Lanka, some of the victims were isolated and marginalized. Others were trusting, never saw betrayal coming. Harper told court the prosecution was avoiding the term serial killer because it is woefully inadequate to describe MacArthur's crimes over 7 years. Mr. MacArthur is a sex predator. He preyed on his friends. He preyed on the vulnerable. He deliberately preyed upon them at a moment of sexual intimacy, when they were most vulnerable. You are...
Okay, you realize that you can't have... I don't agree with that. He killed 7 people. He's a serial killer with sexual components to his crimes. He is not a sexual predator. Sexual predators are... No. He is a serial killer who uses sex as part of his ritual. You can't say he's a sexual predator. I'm okay with capital punishment, says blind girl. Some humans cannot be trusted to behave in society. Why should we keep them? Why should we pay to keep them behind bars and fed? If Ted Bundy was a serial killer, so is this guy. Yep. Yeah, I don't agree with the prosecutor's wording here. He is not a sexual predator. A sexual predator is not somebody who seeks to murder. He is a serial killer who... Wait, are they saying serial killer lives matter? That's fucking dumb. So he is a serial killer who is sexually gratified by killing during sex. That is his MO. That is his ritual. That is what drives him. He is not a sexual predator. Sexual predators are not seeking to kill their victims. They are seeking to rape their victims. They are seeking to dominate their victims sexually. That is not the same thing. Bruce McArthur was seeking to kill during the intimate act of sex because for him that kill was the ultimate sexual release. That is the ultimate sexual domination. That does not make him a sexual predator. That makes him a serial killer whose motive is sexual. He probably is part of him is probably hating the fact that he's gay. Seriously heinous crimes should be punished with death, says Hawk Silk. So yeah, that's my quick little armchair psychological forensic profile of Bruce McArthur.
The enormity of Mr. McArthur's crimes is unique, even among those who commit multiple murders. Adding that the crimes were of sustained cruelty. The act of strangulation is not momentary. Death was just the beginning of the indignities. He memorialized his crimes. He mocked them in death, cladding naked bodies in fur coats, a fur hat, sometimes sticking a cigar between their lifeless lips, kept souvenirs and collated files, even when sometimes he didn't even know their names. Turkish guy. You are currently on. McArthur was hurting victims as early as 2001, when he struck a male sex worker repeatedly with a metal pipe for no discernible reason, pleading guilty to assault and assault causing bodily harm, for which he received a conditional sentence that was expunged in 2014 but vacated, restored, Tuesday.
See, there you go. There's the proof. He does not like himself. He does not like the fact that he is gay. So he is acting out on people that he shares relationships with. Whether they be purely sexual relationships, like with a prostitute, or whether he has an actual lover. Blind Press, you sound healthy, says Blind Girl. Oh, gee, thank you. Guess I should hide. I finished off those frosted flakes this morning.
And he would have kept killing, might have slain a ninth victim, John, who was rescued when police, who'd been keeping McArthur under surveillance by then, forced their way into his apartment on January 18, 2018, literally caught moments away from likely committing another murder, said Harper. So much wreckage left behind us. For the second day, loved ones continued to take the stand to deliver emotional victim impact statements about a brother, a husband, a cousin, a friend. You are currently on Iranavan Thangavul told of arriving in Canada from Sri Lanka with Kirashna Kumar Kanagarabnam, who had never been reporting missing. The day we reached the shores of Canada, as refugees, was the day we found courage and hope in our hearts, but that hope and courage has faded in many of us. There were 492 of us, who arrived on the MV Sunsea boat in 2010 as refugees, but many of us fear to speak out or talk about the incident. There is fear that something like this might happen to another one of us as well. Laws were made to prevent such crimes from happening, but they have failed us. They have failed Kirashna Kumar and other victims like him. We, as refugees, fled in disgust and far after bearing eyewitness to the widespread vile, torturous murders and crimes against humanity during the war in 2009 in Sri Lanka. For us now to hear of such a horrible death, we who live in this world as refugees, feel like there is no safety for us anywhere in the world.
Way to make it about you. That's kind of sick. Sorry, but they just made that completely about them and not about the death of their friend. They only mentioned their friend like once. That's crazy.
Most of the victims were of South Asian or Middle Eastern descent. Some had kept their sexual orientation a secret from family. Farina Mazza, wife of Soroush Mahmoudi, had the Crown read her statement as she sobbed in the public gallery. She has struggled financially since her husband's disappearance in 2015, had to leave her job because of psychological trauma. The severe degree of my emotional distress had a major impact on my relationship with my son and my friends as my emotional and mental health changed drastically, she wrote. You are currently on a text. Karima Faizi, spouse of Abdelbasir Faizi, has been working 18-hour days to provide for 2 daughters who were just 6 and 10 years old with their father vanished, last seen alive at a bathhouse in the gay village on December 29, 2010. You are currently, my daughters suffer terribly knowing what happened to their father, she wrote. They pretend to be strong in front of me, but when they are alone in their room, they take a picture of their father with them. I hear them crying constantly. You are currently on the aching words, the tears. None had any outward effect on MacArthur, but of course he'd been a chameleon for such a long time, leading a double life even after he'd come out as gay to his own family, never apparently revealing the menace and the depravity, the cruelties that thrilled him. Those photographs and the souvenirs he took from some victims were, said Harper, a macabre indulgence, to revisit the thrill. You are currently on a text element, inside of web content. MacArthur may have pleaded guilty but, as Harper stressed, he has not confessed. He wasn't remorseful. He wasn't ashamed. He wasn't repulsed by what he'd done. He enjoyed what he did. He murdered those men for what can be described as nothing more than self-gratification.
Yes.
Currently on a text element,
which
inside
makes
of web
him
content.
not a sexual predator, but a serial killer.
Unless MacArthur unzippers himself at a future date, to a psychiatrist or a biographer, that's the closest we'll likely get to an understanding of his psyche, his malevolent obsessions. You are currently on a text. He killed that first time, in September of 2010, Skandaraj Navaratnam, a friend, and there was no reckoning, so he killed again and again and again and again and again and again. You are currently on a text.
Don't most killers usually kill hookers, though? No. Not necessarily, I should say.
The victims stare out at the courtroom, frozen in photographs from happier times, their faces projected on a large monitor. You are currently on it. MacArthur doesn't look at them either. You are currently, when he looks in the mirror, what does he see? This decrepit old man. You are Rosie DiMano is a columnist based in Toronto covering.
So that's the end of that story. That's a very, very interesting article. I don't necessarily agree with the prosecutor's use of the word sexual predator, but it's an interesting look at the serial killer brain, I guess. Some serial killers do kill hookers, but it just really depends on what the serial killer's type is. Okay. Oh my god. Dayquil, why aren't you working? God damn it. Okay, so I just found the story of the brawl, of the hockey brawl. However, I think I'm gonna. Oh man, sorry guys. Let's see here. I've got a couple of stuff that I sent myself here. YouTube recommended self-harm videos to children as young as 13. Gunfox sent us this one through the Discord. If I am unwell, end it. We'll do we'll do this story because I really wanted to read it. Gunfox sent it over on Monday and I missed it. But then I will because my nose is ridiculously stuffed and yeah, I sound like shit. So, this is a Fox News article by Christopher Carbone. How very Italian. All right, here we go.
YouTube is under fire over graphic content on its platform. Image. Black link. Google on YouTube. Link. YouTube is under fire over link. Google on YouTube, which recently link tweaked its algorithms to stem the flow of conspiracy videos, has been recommending dozens of videos with graphic images of self-harm to young users as young as 13.
How fucking brilliant. Well done, YouTube. Well done.
Although the massive video platform already link bans videos depicting self-harm or suicide. You are currently link. The British Telegraph claims that at least a dozen such videos with this content still exist on YouTube. British Health Secretary Matt Hancock said last week that social media platforms could be banned if they fail to protect children from content depicting or promoting suicide and self-harm. Link. According to the BBC. Link. Amazon workers get safety belts to stop robots from killing them. In our clothes icon 1 advertisement. When contacted by Fox News, a YouTube spokesperson gave the following statement. We know many people use YouTube to find information, advice or support sometimes in the hardest of circumstances. We work hard to ensure our platforms are not used to encourage dangerous behavior. Because of this, we have strict policies that prohibit videos which promote self-harm and we will remove flagged videos that violate this policy. Our policies also prohibit autocomplete predictions for these topics, and we will remove any suggestions which don't comply with our policies.
So, okay, so you're expecting a teenager who gets this video to flag it? What if they are looking for self-harm videos and you just happen to pop one into their recommended feed? Do you think they're going to report that video? Fuck off.
Whenever a user searches for certain things like suicide, the top result is a box pointing them toward the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline's phone number and giving them an option to also text the organization to get help. The company also regularly reviews a range of these search terms in order to keep pace with what's happening and respond accordingly. YouTube has a link. Separate section. Mute link. With resources for people who are contemplating suicide or self-harm as well.
They have a separate section, do they?
Link. Click here for the Fox News ad. Separately from the topic of suicide, it's long been known that YouTube link could be misused by bad actors or others with malevolent intentions. You are currently on if you or someone you know is
So basically they're just giving out a blanket statement. Oh, we obviously take down flagged content, blah blah blah. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. I can't believe that. Fuck's sakes. Oh, the Canadian winter cold gets you every year. Yep. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, guys. I'm gonna cut it short today. Just because my throat is getting a little sore and my nose is ridiculous. Tomorrow, Skep's gonna be my guest since he didn't come on yesterday. Next week will be Irate Prostate, and the week after that, I am actually going to attempt. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask Tailed Feature if he wants to come on. So hopefully he'll say yes. Because I'd really like to say hi, to give Tailed Feature an interview and talk to him. So, but we're gonna have the Wednesdays with Skep edition tomorrow. So it'll be Wednesdays with Skep on Friday, and then we'll be back on Saturday with Star Trek. And so yeah, I hope everyone has a great week or a great day. Jesus. And hope everyone comes back tomorrow because I really, bleh, I feel like shit. I will try to feel better and get well. I will get as much rest as I can. Thank you guys for listening to my stuffy voice. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have to do the coffee stream in the afternoon because I have a doctor's appointment at 11:30. So I will say probably about 1:30 just to be safe for travel time. Um, so coffee in the afternoon tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone. See you then.